Today, we're honoring a true titan of cinema, Terence Stamp, the English actor whose brooding intensity and iconic roles made him a legend. From General Zod in Superman to his Oscar-nominated debut in Billy Budd, Stamp's career spanned over 6 decades. Sadly, he passed away on August 17, 2025, at 87, leaving behind a legacy that still got fans buzzing. In this video, we're diving into his cause of death, wife, family, children, or lack thereof, net worth, lifestyle, and a full biography that traces his journey from East London to Hollywood stardom. This is gonna be a long one, packed with stories, tributes, and details about the man who gave us Kneel Before Zod. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's celebrate Terence Stamp's incredible life. Let's start with the tough part, Terence Stamp's cause of death. On August 17, 2025, the world lost this cinematic giant at age 87. According to reports from sources like Wikipedia and major outlets, Terence passed away in London, though the exact cause wasn't explicitly detailed in public statements. Given his age, it's believed to be natural causes or age-related health issues. No dramatic accidents or public health battles were mentioned. There was a death hoax about him earlier in August 2025, which got fans worried, but his reps quickly debunked it, confirming he was alive at the time. Sadly, just days later, the real news broke, and tributes poured in from fans, co-stars like Michael Caine, and directors like Steven Soderbergh. His passing marked the end of an era for British cinema, but his work lives on in classics like The Collector and The Limey. If more details emerge, we'll update you. Drop a comment if you hear anything new. Now, onto his biography, because Terence Stamp's life is a masterclass in resilience, talent, and cool. Born Terence Henry Stamp on July 22, 1938, in Stepney, London, he grew up in the gritty East End during World War II, enduring the Blitz as a kid. The eldest of 5 children, his dad, Thomas Stamp, was a tugboat stoker often away with the Merchant Navy, so his mom, Ethel Esther Perrott, plus his grandmother and aunts, raised him in Bow and later Plaistow, Essex. Money was tight, but young Terence found escape in movies, idolizing Gary Cooper after seeing Beau Geste at age 3 and later James Dean, whose raw intensity inspired him. He went to Plaistow County Grammar School but wasn't academic. Instead, he worked odd jobs in advertising agencies and as a golf club assistant in the 1950s, saving up for his acting dream. That dream kicked off when he won a scholarship to the Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art in London. By 1960, he was on stage in the West End's Vaudeville Theatre with Wolf Mankiewicz This Year Next Year. His big break came in 1962 with his film debut as Billy Budd in Peter Ustinov's adaptation, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor and a BAFTA nod for Best Newcomer at just 24, talk about a start. The Guardian called him the master of the brooding silence, and that vibe defined his career. In the 60s, he was a swinging London icon, dating Julie Christie and Jean Shrimpton, and photographed by David Bailey for Box of Pin-Ups. Films like The Collector, 1965, won him a Can Best Actor award, while Far from the Madding Crowd, 1967, with Christie and Poor Cow, 1967, with Ken Loach cemented his star status. He almost played James Bond but turned it down, thinking his ideas scared off producer Harry Saltzman. The 70s and 80s brought iconic roles like General Zod in Superman, 1978, and Superman 2, 1980, that "Kneel Before Zod" line is pure cinema gold. He lived in Italy for a bit, working with Fellini on Toby Dammit, 1968, and Pasolini on Teorema, 1968, then returned with a vengeance in the 90s as Bernadette in The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, 1994, earning BAFTA and Golden Globe nods. The Limey, 1999, got him an Independent Spirit Award nomination, and he played Chancellor Valorum in Star Wars, Episode I, The Phantom Menace, 1999, though he called it boring. Later roles included Valkyrie, 2008, Get Smart, 2008, and his final film, Last Night in Soho, 2021. He voiced Jor-El in Smallville, 2003 to 2011, coming full circle with Superman. Off-screen, He wrote autobiographies like Stamp Album and launched the Stamp Collection, an organic food line for wheat and dairy intolerance. His career spanned over 90 films, with awards like a Golden Globe, Silver Bear, and Satellite Award, making him a true icon. On his age, Terence Stamp was 87 when he passed on August 17, 2025, born on July 22, 1938. At 6 feet tall with silver hair and piercing blue eyes, he kept that elegant, intense presence even in his 80s. He stayed active, acting in Last Night in Soho at 83, and his timeless charisma made him a fan favorite across generations. Posts on X in 2024 noted he was still sharp at 85, reflecting on his East London roots. Age never slowed his passion for art or storytelling. Now, let's talk about his wife and love life. Terence Stamp married Elizabeth O'Rourke, a pharmacist, on December 31, 2002, when he was 64 and she was 29, a 35-year age gap that raised eyebrows. Elizabeth, born around 1973, was 52 in 2025. Australian by birth, she kept a low profile, focusing on her career and their private life. Their marriage lasted until April 2008, when they divorced, citing his unreasonable behavior in court filings. No juicy details on what that meant, but it was a quickie divorce, and they stayed amicable. Before Elizabeth, Terence was a 60s heartthrob, dating Julie Christie during Far From the Madding Crowd, supermodel Jean Shrimpton, a high-profile romance that defined swinging London, and Celia Hammond. Rumors even linked him to Princess Diana, but nothing confirmed. Post-divorce, he stayed single, embracing a private, introspective life. Elizabeth likely inherited part of his estate, as mentioned in reports, but details are scarce. Family-wise, Terence was the eldest of 5 kids, born to Thomas and Ethel Stamp in Stepney. His brother, Chris Stamp, was a music producer and manager who co-founded Track Records and worked with The Who. He passed away in 2012. His other siblings, names not widely publicized, kept out of the spotlight. Growing up in the East End, Terence was shaped by his mom's warmth and the women in his family, as his dad was often at sea. He stayed close to his nephews, who are likely part of his estate's heirs, per reports. Terence was private but proud of his roots, often visiting London and reflecting on his Blitz-era childhood in his books like Stamp Album. No family drama made headlines, they were a working-class crew who supported his rise. In 2025, tributes from relatives highlighted his role as a family anchor, with nephews sharing stories of his mentorship. As for children, Terence Stamp didn't have any kids, a choice he seemed content with. During his marriage to Elizabeth, they didn't start a family, and he never fathered children in earlier relationships either. In interviews, he focused on his career and personal growth, like yoga and Eastern philosophy, rather than parenthood. He once said in his autobiography that his life's children were his roles and creative projects, pouring his energy into art. Fans speculated he might have regretted it later, but he seemed at peace, mentoring younger actors like a surrogate dad. His estate likely went to his ex-wife, nephews, and charities, as he was involved in low-key philanthropy. On to his net worth, Terence Stamp's fortune was estimated at $10 million at the time of his death in 2025, according to sources like Finance Monthly and the New York Banner. Some older estimates stretched it to $25 million, but $10 mil is the consensus, built over a 60-year career. His earnings came from lead roles in films like Superman and The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which paid $1 to $5 million each at his peak, plus royalties from streaming and DVDs. He also earned from stage work, like Dracula in 1978, and his organic food line, the Stamp Collection. Real estate was a big chunk. He owned a Southern California home, the Stamp House, built for $400,000 in 2004 and sold in 2015, and stayed in Notting Hill and Knightsbridge rentals in the UK. Personal assets included classic cars and fine art, valued at $1.5 million, and investments like stocks added another $500,000. He wasn't flashy, so most of his wealth went to family and causes, with residuals still flowing from his iconic films. Finally, Terence's lifestyle was pure class, minimalist, spiritual, and rooted in his East End grit. He split time between London and short-term stays in LA, favoring rentals over owning multiple homes. In the UK, he loved Notting Hill's vibe, often staying in boutique hotels or friends' guesthouses. Daily routine, morning yoga, he was a long-time practitioner, writing, he authored books like Double Feature, and reading classic literature, he had a huge book collection. Food was healthy, his wheat and dairy intolerance led to his organic food line, so think fresh veggies, fish, and gluten-free meals. He drove luxury cars like a Bentley, worth $200,000, but nothing over the top. Travel was for work or spiritual retreats. He loved Italy from his 60s days and practiced Eastern philosophy. Hobbies included calligraphy, gardening, he had a green thumb, and collecting antique pocket watches. Socially, he was private, hanging with old pals like Michael Caine, though they drifted, or new actors he mentored. Charity was quiet, he supported arts and health causes but didn't flaunt it. In his 80s, he slowed down but kept acting, staying sharp and stylish with his silver hair and tailored suits. Even in 2025, he exuded that timeless Zod charisma. Phew, that's the full story of Terence Stamp, an 87-year-old legend who left us in 2025 with a $10 million legacy, no kids, a brief marriage to Elizabeth O'Rourke, 52 now, and a family rooted in East London. From Billy Budd to General Zod, his life was cinema itself. What's your favorite Stamp role? Drop it in the comments, like if this tribute hit you, and share with your movie buff friends. If you want more icon bios like Michael Caine or Julie Christie, let me know. Rest in peace, Terence, thanks for the memories. Catch you next time, peace out.